Here we go, fellow fans of Clash of Clans. It is your host, Galadon. The Town Hall 16 update is live. I set my alarm this morning and woke up hours before the sunrise just so I could update and bring you the gem to max, so follow along. But please be forgiving as we fully max out Town Hall 16. The reason I say that is because the video was a little bit rushed. There may be the occasional voice crack or editing error. And it's never too early, right, to ask you guys kindly to consider subscribing and using creator code Galadon. It is only because some of you use creator code Galadon when you make a purchase in a Supercell game that I am able to do this, okay? I didn't think we would be able to get as far as we did today, but here we go. Okay, so all of this has been compressed. You can see the video was about 20 minutes long today. It took me, I would say, somewhere around an hour to get this done. And also, for time purposes, I edited out some of the going back and forth with the treasury and the gold pass and the trader and the shop and all the different places that I went to try to pull resources. I did make an effort to be thrifty and not just waste tons of gems and tons of resources, meaning trying to empty out the resources completely before we use a rune, and of course just making sense of the upgrades because, well, you'll see at the end of today's episode we will come back and we will deal with the blacksmith. That, my friends, is an absolute nightmare. This right here, we are going to save this for last. There are no number of books, runes, or hammers that will help you get through the hero equipment any more quickly. So we'll delve into that a bit later. Now, this was supposed to be a progress base. Everything on the bottom right needs to be upgraded. Everything on the top left is maxed already, but yeah, that didn't work out either. We had to move some stuff around. Now, this was, of course, the money spending part. Now, we already purchased the blacksmith. Here was a $100 update mega pack. Look at those numbers at the top right. And yes, by the way, just quickly, I do have to pay for this myself. This was $50 out of my own wallet. Yes, technically, I use code Galadon, so I get 5% off. And yes, it is a tax deduction, but for all of those of you that know how tax deductions work, it ain't like I'm getting it for free. No, I get about 24% of it back on my taxes at the end of the year. So it helps, and it makes sense. And otherwise, I wouldn't really suggest that anybody do this unless you've got money to burn. And even I don't have money to burn, but this is Gem to Max. It's a Clash of Clans tradition, a gala tradition, and I had to do it for you. So here we go. Here's a quick look at the magic items before we move on. Yes, we have saved up hammers with no cooldowns, so we can double up on all of those hammers, and we will, because like I said, we're trying to be careful with our gems. Now, upgrade. What do you upgrade first at Town Hall 16? Of course, you go to the walls, because walls are so... Okay, fine. This is not a what to upgrade first episode, by the way. Absolutely not. This would never, ever be what I would suggest, but we are going to finish those walls anyway today, so we've got to make sure we get them started. Now, if I were to tell you what to upgrade first, obviously, you're going after the signature defenses. That is the multi-archer towers and the ricochet cannons. But before we do that, another $50 down the invested into this account, and I must go out and verify myself because my credit card was like, are you sure you want to do this, Galadon? Yeah, okay. So we did it. We bought that package. And just look at the resources, though. We got to save a screenshot of that. That was pretty crazy. Okay, so again, what to upgrade first? You're going to do these because they're going to be so much more powerful. Your base is going to be much stronger on defense, even though you lost a couple of buildings. Well, technically you're going to lose 4, but overall you're gaining hit points, you're gaining defense. Don't even think about not doing this. This should be the first thing you do when you go to Town Hall 16. Also, because remember, you already were forced to build the blacksmith at Town Hall 15 if you started today at Town Hall 15. Obviously, the blacksmith unlocks at Town Hall 8, but okay, again, we're going to go back to that a little bit later because it is going to be traumatic. Okay, now we've got 2 down. Oh yes, we maxed them out, and yes, if you noticed, going from level 1 to level 2 on the multi-archer tower and the ricochet cannon, that is going to be the most expensive upgrade in the entire village of Town Hall 16. So if you have hammers, this is where you want to use them. So that's what I did right here. Now we are maxing them out, but you can see I had a hammer to use for each of these. I think they were the same cost. And it was nice to see, however, that the time to upgrade stuff is not going to be quite as insane as it was back in the day, right? You can see here as we put this down, it's a mere 11 days, or I'm going so quickly. Oh, speaking of going quickly, just a quick warning that there are going to be a lot of flashing fast forwards in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So if that stuff bothers you, and if spending tons and tons and tons of gems bothers you, then you might want to tune out right now. Okay, so we got the new defenses down. Other than that, in my opinion, the most important thing to start with right now would be the storages, because you need that extra storage. We're going to be using a ton of runes today, and it would make no sense to use runes on Town Hall 15 size storages when you can increase that capacity and get more bang for your buck, or for your rune. For the average player, you probably want to start working on those heroes right away. Get in there and get those puppies going. Right now, I did make a mistake right here, and this is where you can learn from me. The most expensive hero upgrade used to be the Archer Queen's final level. That's where I used that first hammer of heroes. Of course, I have another one, but I will tell you right now that the most expensive hero upgrade in Dark Elixir cost is actually going to be the final levels of the Royal Champion. So consider that if you're going to use that hammer, use it on your Royal Champion's final levels, and you will be getting the best value for your hammer. Now, again, so we got those done. This is going to kind of go back and forth. And again, like I said, most everything is fast forwarded. Also, I tried not to miss any of the upgrades. The actual upgrades should all be in today's video. If you go back for whatever reason and you need to verify that I actually did it, I did it. I'm broken. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're good. Okay, where are we? Okay, so Barbarian King is fully maxed, Archer Queen fully maxed, Royal Champion. This is where I find out that, yeah, it made more sense to do the Royal Champion with the hammers. And then, of course, the G-Dubs, the Grand Warden, got to get him going as well. And as we work our way through this today, we will start to move stuff around. Sometimes it'll just blip over. Other times I'll fast forward it like this. But we're trying to adjust the progress base so that we have everything in the appropriate place. All right, storages on the correct side. Heroes, still working on the Royal Champion. Then, of course, we have the lab. Got to do the lab. That's critical, right? Obviously, even if you're just a farmer, get that lab upgraded, because yes, well, okay, sneaky goblins are still maxed out, but super wall breakers aren't. And oh man, there's going to be a lot of stuff over here to deal with. Hammers of fighting. Obviously, if you can, use those 2 hammers of fighting, 2 hammers of spells on Dark Elixir troops and spells. That is going to give you, again, much more value than using it on an elixir troop. So we did golems, we did, I think it was bowlers. That saved us a ton. Then we're going to go back and work on all of the other stuff. We got the barracks upgraded. And no, again, we're not done in the lab yet. We're not done with the heroes, the hero pets rather, the Spirit Fox. We just upgraded, and we got to go back and deal with that as well. Starting to pop those runes of Dark Elixir. We're, again, doing our best, and this is something that I can't tell you exactly how to work it on your own, but the idea is do your best to empty your reserves before you use another rune. Every time you use a rune with anything left in the tank, that is wasted. And so we actually, at some point here, will be using gems to top off resources rather than wasting partially full storages by using a rune. And then here we go. Okay, so beautiful expos, going to get the expos done and off to the other side. Again, this is a combination of an expo and then something else. Usually we'll do a wall and a bomb and a defense, some sort of combination that gets us as close to 0 in resources as possible. Now, also, I did realize that I had a ton of runes of gold. If you looked at my magic items inventory earlier, it was insane the amount of runes of gold I had. Yet, prepare yourselves, because by the end of today's episode, we will run out of them completely. Yeah, the walls, oh man, the walls are very demanding of resources, and that is definitely something that most players should not bother with, especially because if you think about it, how many troops now ignore walls completely? All of the air troops, then you have miners, hog riders, and of course now the root rider, just to name a few. Not complaining, but I really feel like the Clash of Clans team could have gone to the Gala Wall suggestion for Town Hall 16 and made it so much more cool than simply just adding another level, but whatever, maybe Town Hall 17, they will go ahead and use my idea. And if you're not familiar with my idea on the wall innovation, I'll link it right here and you can check out like an 8-year-old video that talks about this, because this is an idea that I've been tossing around for literally 8 years in probably half a dozen different episodes. Okay, so back to the defenses. We got the Expos done. We got the air defenses done. Bomb towers are going next. Again, this is not what to upgrade first. I would always go archer towers. Wait a minute, you don't upgrade archer. See, this is where the progress base is wrong. Archer towers don't get upgraded, only the multi-archer tower thing, right? So wizard towers, look at that. Man, the wizard towers look so cool at Town Hall 16. But we got the wizard towers, and we've got the last bomb tower, and then we have to go to the bombs, and the air bombs over there on the right-hand side. Then, of course, the walls. Finish the lab, finish the hero pets, a hero pet singular, and then the blacksmith. Again, I'm going to put that off and procrastinate that as much as possible, because if you've watched the episodes leading up through the sneak peeks, you know that Supercell pulled a dirty trick on us, and even all of us who were saving insane amounts of runes and books and hammers know that everyone is forced to either A, farm, or 2, gem the blacksmith, the hero equipment, with those 3 new resources. Okay, so here we go. All of the exciting, glamorous stuff is pretty much complete. At this point, I'm only dealing with these bombs, traps, okay, there's no traps. Bombs, and more bombs, and walls. And this is, again, one of those things where you're juggling and you're doing math and you're trying to do this on the fly so that you can waste the least amount of gems or resources when using another rune. And if you look at the totals, I've already spent, around 6,000 gems just topping stuff off. But I think in the long run, that ended up saving me several runes. And that's going to work out because, again, we're running out of runes today. Quick spoiler, however, very excited to tell you that we did not have to do the disgusting. And if you're familiar with the past episodes of Gem to Max, the disgusting part is when Galadon uses straight gems to upgrade walls. And no, that actually, I would not recommend that anyone ever do that. Back in the day when my Gem to Max videos got millions of views each, it didn't matter, right? It was fine. The sponsors, whatever, would take care of it. These days, no. This video probably won't even get 100,000 views, so it's not paying for Gem to Max. So again, this is not me begging, but it is a nice opportunity to remind you how helpful creator code Galadon really is. Okay, so there it is. The final giant bomb getting upgraded, and we're now down to just walls, and lab, and hero pet, and hero equipment. Oh, it's fine, but I have 25 runes of gold left. Did you see that? Yes, now it felt like we could finish all of the walls. However, the problem there being that a rune of gold only does fractionally more than 3 walls, even with the 20% gold pass discounts. And I know what some of you are saying. Galadon, you say it's gross to spend gems on walls, but you spent cash on walls because you bought these packages at some point. You spent your own money, and now you're just converting it. That's true, but it hurts less this way, right? It's like going to Las Vegas. If you lose money at the poker table in Las Vegas, it's in chips. What are chips? They're not real. They don't cost real money, do they? No, it's one step removed from actually having cash on the table. It's the same in Clash of Clans. Why do you think you don't buy walls for money? Why do you think an upgrade of an archer tower doesn't say it's $12.68? Because that one step removed of having to buy the packages or the gems and then having to buy the item in the game makes it seem less real. You see, they're using psychological tricks on you to get you to spend more money in Clash of Clans. Okay, here we go. So we're back to the lab, the walls, trying to do the combination again where we do a troop upgrade, a spell upgrade, and then a wall. And this did occasionally waste a little bit of resources left in the storage. As you can see there, 600,000 elixir was wasted when we used that rune. Or on the other side, we had to spend a few gems because we were a little bit short. And I tried to keep it reasonable within like 1 million or so each time. So obviously there was a rune or two that were wasted here. Overall, it's too early to say that other word. Yeah, so we tried to be careful about that. Like I said, it wasn't flawless, and that's why this isn't a guide on how to gem to max, and I would hope that none of you are going to try this. In fact, the whole point is you come and watch a Galadon gem to max video so you don't need to, want to, or for whatever mistake in your life, do this on your own, right? Because the other thing is this, especially if you have but one Clash of Clans account, why the heck would you ever gem to max an update? The whole point of this game is enjoying the upgrades. So again, I do this for you. I do this because this gives you an opportunity to gem to max vicariously without having to incur the expense or the remorse. Because I feel remorseful every time I finish a gem to max. I'm not kidding you. There's this moment. It's like buyer's remorse when you bought that expensive new car or whatever the case may be. I get to the end and I finish, and I usually post a screenshot on Twitter and I ask when the next town hall is being released. At that moment, I feel a little dirty, a little sad, and a little disappointed. But remember, I have 40 Clash of Clans accounts. We are not going to be lacking for content. Gold Pass Clash is going to Town Hall 16 sometime in the next month or two, and that will be the account that we spend the next year or two farming to max. Also, I have No Cash Clash of Clans, the free-to-play account that I would anticipate is years away from being maxed, and that's a good thing because remember, I promised to quit Clash and quit YouTube the day that account gets maxed out. That's my free-to-play accounts, and obviously with this update, we are now literally years away from that. I can't even tell you, I can't even approximate how long the hero equipment is going to take to farm. Okay, I've been blabbering on, and oh, we got the Spirit Fox, right? We're just about done. Finally going back in, the final level for the Spirit Fox, and we are going to pair the Spirit Fox, I'm thinking, with the Barbarian King. I just feel like the Frost effect, that just is going to be a really cool little addition for the Barb King. And obviously, you know that Spirit Fox is slightly OP right now. You definitely want to get it leveled up if you can, if you have the ability. But I would always put the heroes first. Make sure you get your heroes maxed before you worry about the new pets. All right, here we go. The conclusion is approaching. Fast forwarding through all of these wall upgrades. We did all of the runes of elixir, and we did every last one before we touched the runes of gold. The reason we did that was because there was a rune of elixir sitting in the gold pass. We wanted to make sure we collected that before we moved on. Then we moved the gold storage over here. That way we could click on the rune of gold faster so that we go through the walls. And as you can see here, every single rune of gold, even though we started with an insane, I had dozens of runes of gold, and they all went away. So then we went to wall rings through CWL medals, and we used, well, actually we have quite a few hundred CWL medals left, and oh yeah, and then I made a mistake in the progress pace. There were actually 5 more walls that I had on the wrong side here, so we got those final 5 walls, went back in, bought wall rings, and there is a glitch, by the way. If you see that when you use the wall rings, it looks like there's some sort of text glitch on getting that upgrade using num to booster. So use your num to booster, and there it was. There it is. There we are. There it is, fully maxed out for Town Hall 16. Okay, I know what you're saying, Galadon, you're yelling and screaming. Galadon, you didn't gem to max, you're not fully done because you didn't do the hero equipment. So here, my friends, is your opportunity. I am going to be live on kick.com/Galadon tonight around 7 o'clock roughly Pacific time, and we are going to deal with that issue. We are going to do our best to max out hero equipment within reason. I'm not going to go insane. It would be nice if we could max it out, but let's just see how far we can get, because again, no book, no rune, no hammer helps whatsoever. And if you cannot make the live stream for whatever reason, if it's a bad time in your country or whatever the case may be, don't worry. I have other live streams. And of course, we will follow up today's episode with another video, the conclusion to Gem to Max, where we will either A, gem to max all of the hero equipment, or 2, calculate how much it would have cost to gem to max all of the hero equipment. I have a feeling it's a little ridiculous, and at the same time, okay, there's a lot to talk about, because is it pay to win? Is it going to give an unfair advantage to players that can gem that stuff? We need to discuss that. We need to discuss the other ways that you can get this ore. So come back, return, subscribe. Thank you, Galafam. I appreciate all of you if you stuck around to the very end of this very long episode. Now get out there, make the best of the rest of your day, week, month, and year. Be kind to other people, animals, and the planet. And I hope to see all of you back here again tomorrow for more full attacks. Galadon, you didn't spend nearly enough gems. More gems, Galadon, more gems.